Today I am here to refute the claims in the argument of electronics in the classroom hurt the education process. Secondary claims to this proposition are electronics distract to the classroom environment, electronics make it easier to cheat in class, and finally, individuals learn better when they write by hand than when you type. The first claim I would like to call to attention is that electronics being a distraction in the classroom environment. The advocate states that laptops as well as phones that are connected to the internet are distractions within the classroom. There is no denying that students can be distracted from the latest applications and other forms of entertainment with any given device. However, many classrooms at Cal Poly, as well as other schools as far down as elementary school, use electronics to explain lessons in class. Should these instruments be looked down upon as well? The second claim I would like to dispute is electronics make it easier to cheat in class. First off, there is no evidence to prove whether or not electronics do make it easier to cheat. Forms of cheating lacking the use of electronics may very well be better and effective than their unethical counterparts. But whether or not electronics make it easier to cheat or plagiarize, these choices stem from the individual and whether or not they choose to do so. Finally, the last claim I would like to question is the research showing that handwriting helps you learn shapes and letters, as well as improve idea composition and expression. There's no denying that handwriting may very well do this. In fact, there's a study as shown in How Handwriting Boosts the Brain, that handwriting may actually keep late baby boomers sharper and their mentality better as they age. Well, on the very same page on the article, there's a video that was similar to the topic. After watching that video, expert Wendy Bound stated herself, technology actually may help give the resurgence of handwriting back. She then went on to display various applications on the iPhone to demonstrate how these electronic devices, both for children and adults, could help them better write and further with their idea composition and expression. In conclusion, there may very well be cases where electronics do distract students and maybe even professors or teachers in the classroom. However, the advocate's claim fails to show the numerous benefits for having electronics in the classroom. Furthermore, I hope you have come to the conclusion that the benefits of electronics in the classroom far outweigh the hazards. Thank you.
All the structural things are pretty fine. The main and secondary claims are labeled pretty well. On the first point, you basically have an argument about whether or not these kinds of devices have a positive or a negative effect. There's not any discussion of the advocate's evidence on this particular point or whether or not they've reasoned effectively, and I think there's probably plenty of spots there for you to make such challenges and present maybe even evidence that's particular on those points. You basically just go to the counterclaim that says that these electronic devices are used in practical ways, but you don't really have much demonstration of that. You don't show that it has the positive benefit, just that they might exist in some of these environments. And so, you know, at best you are making an assertion on this point that leads you to a position that you are relatively equivalent to the advocate on this point, and because you haven't really challenged their grounds and warrants, I think you're going to be in a little bit of trouble there. On the cheating issue, you know, I think you basically come back to an argument here that's based on your assertion about how this is likely to be implemented, and that it's really less about the technology and more about the students. And I think that's an interesting philosophy, but there's not really any discussion, again, of what the advocate talked about. If the advocate wasn't very clear about what the technology was and how it was going to change this and how it was going to influence this, or there wasn't any quantification of the greater frequency of cheating or change in scores or results for people, you ought to say that. You ought to point out there's an absence of evidence on those particular points, and you don't really do that. On the handwriting information, I thought that you had an interesting argument here, kind of agreeing with the concept that this is going to happen, but suggesting that the technology actually encourages people to engage in more handwriting and produce that beneficial result. You were describing something that you saw, and we're not getting a chance to see it, and I'm not exactly sure how the inference works that playing around on the iPhone in some way is going to encourage us to do some handwriting. And I think that that needs to be explained a little bit more. Maybe it's a particular app or something that you're talking about, or maybe there's some way in which the technology is being used that's going to produce this potential benefit, but I didn't think it was as clearly explained as it needed to be. All right, thank you.